What's going on, guys? Welcome back again. I'm Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. So we're gonna jump into this 1995 YZ 250. Why? Because the family wants it fixed. I don't know if we'll be able to fix it or not. There's a lot of issues I see with this thing. He's had it for a while. He said he's run it a couple times way back in the day, and he bought it really cheap from somebody, and he just wants to semi-restore it. So we're gonna check out the motor first. So what we're gonna do on this thing here, let me walk you around a little bit and show you the damage on this poor thing. We're also trying out our new Tusk scissor lift that we just got. No, I'm not sponsored by Tusk or Rocky Mountain Motor MC ATV. I ordered it from them on sale for $219. I can leave a link down in the description for that, and I found it on Amazon for $254, I think. So I'll leave a link down in the description for both of those. Super nice, by the way. But what I got going on here, like I said, my family friend wants to, my step cousin's husband wants to go through this and fix it all up. But I've run across quite a few issues. I mean, I found parts for it, but somebody decided to tack weld the improper bolt on the crank. I haven't found a crank for it yet, but what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're just gonna go ahead and pull the motor out, set it up on my bench over here, and just start pulling apart. They said this bolt for a long time had ran into the clutch cover. To me, it looks like somebody decided to finally cut it out after they realized it was rubbing. They probably didn't realize it's not a dry clutch. More damage up here. So we'll pull the motor out of the chassis. We'll go over the motor to see if it's even worth trying to fix, or we may just end up parting this thing out in general. So stay with me, guys. I'm gonna pop this motor out of the chassis real quick, and then we'll get back to it when I got the motor on the bench over here. All right, you guys see, got the motor out of the chassis. Let's walk over here to the workbench. It's a little bit of a mess. Transmission parts over here for something else. So I ran across a couple things. The shift lever is welded to the shift shaft. The flywheel, like I said earlier, is welded to the crank. You can see the actuation lever for the clutch is messed up. That'll need to be replaced also. You guys saw the clutch side over here is messed up. Doesn't have a Kickstarter. The inner case is broke. The outer case is broke. All that stuff needs to be fixed. We're still gonna pull this motor completely apart. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and grind this down, take that shift shaft off, see if I can't get this flywheel off by grinding off the end of the crank. See if these cases may be worth saving or not. They could be, I'm not really sure. We'll go ahead and pull the top end down. We'll pull all the clutch stuff off and all that good stuff. Looking at the reeds may still be good, can't really tell. But I'm gonna go ahead and grind that down and try to get this off, and we'll get back to it after I get that done. All right, guys, so we finally got this weld ground off. It actually came off. The nut on this guy was actually a crown nut. It's still stuck inside this socket, but it was threaded onto this crank, welded onto it. So I got that off. And the flywheel is the next battle. I had to kind of clean up the edges a little bit. Kind of messed up one of my pullers, but not a big deal. We got it out. So the next is to try to get these screws out, pull this guy off, and then come back tomorrow and take off the clutch side. Sorry guys, I didn't realize I didn't have the camera rolling there. So basically, here's what we got. We got this part of the case, which was broke. So it only had a few bolts in it. So this piece came off with it. Of course, we have the big hole in the clutch cover in itself. That's junk. That whole entire piece is junk. Let's check out what's going on with the clutch. The inner clutch hub is junk because we've got a broken one right there. But let's just go on and pull this cover off anyways. The pressure plate. See what's going on. Nice and full of water. Let's see if we get the clutch pack out here. Oh yeah, nice. Couldn't ask for a better clutch pack. Beautiful, all stuck together and rusty. I like it. Let's pull off this guy. Nice and rusty. Still stuck. So I believe that's a 32. Maybe, no, I think that's a 27. So let me grab a 27 and my big impact. And we'll blast that off real quick. 27. Let's double check that. Nope, 32. Or a 30. Let's see. 30. All right, see if we can't knock that off real quick. No problems. I know the motor's slamming around, but that's okay. There's a lot of issues with this motor, and slamming it down is probably the least of its neglect. If you look at the bottom, holy smokes, you look at the bottom of the case, it's amazing. It's amazing the mass amounts of stuff. Let me slide this underneath here. All right, let's get the clutch hub out. Outer clutch hub, not horrible. It's got a little bit of grooves there. Not horrible. Bearing nice and rusty looking, full of grease and water. But let's see if I can't get this shift shaft to pull out that. There we go. The shift shaft we had to shave down. It's all full of mud. Yeah, what's going on down here? There's a baling wire, it looks like. There's the, cases are even cracked. Whole motor's junk. Cases are cracked back here. I think might actually be able to spin the crank now. I take that back. I'm going to say not. But anyways, we're still going to pull this whole motor apart. Why not? But here you go. There you go. There's all the fun stuff. So, I'm going to call it a night. Come back tomorrow. Finish pulling this motor in half. And see what other kind of goodies we find inside here. Because you can see where it's been rubbing for so long. It's just filled this thing full of debris. All right, so it's the next day. It's crazy humid out. I had to squeegee my shop floor because it's so humid that there's water on my floor. Condensation so bad. But anyways, all right, so let's get back to this 1995 YZ250 motor. We're gonna go ahead and take out the idler pulley here with a set of snap ring pliers. I have a whole set right here, guys. This is from Snap-on. Had it for a while now. You can see part number is, I believe, 99R1009. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading that right here. PRH406. Love this little set, works great for stuff like this. Sometimes you do have to go out and buy a bigger one. Sometimes these sets here may just be a little small, but my favorite thing about them, once again, is you put it together, turn it, now it opens them up. Let's go on and take this guy off here. Just enough to get it over the top. Drop that on our tray. And we're gonna go ahead and take off the, I can't remember the name of the darn thing, but anyways, the main drive gear on this thing off the crank. What is that, 27? And there we go. Just gonna go ahead and hit that real quick. It may break loose, it may not. I may have to hold the crank. There we go. Nut, washer. Both these gears. There is no marking to line these gears back up. Doesn't really matter on that or on here. We'll take out all of our shift detent, probably our segment bolt and a shift drum. All that. For a second I thought it was stripping out. You just don't know with this motor, as bad off as it is, what's gonna be stripped out and what's not. I can see all the springs and Don't want to lose these little pins and springs inside of here. We'll put this in its own separate Ziploc bag so we don't lose that. Even though we're not going to probably use anything or this motor at all, because this, as you guys can see, this thing is just too far gone. Too far gone. We'll just set that off to the side for now. Shift drum detent should be a 12. Or the segment bolt, I should say. There. Pop that guy off. Pull this little guy down. If you do put this back on, there is a pin that lines up with that right here. Go ahead and grab our bolt and the shift star, and then that looks like it's a 14 to get rid of the actuator, the arm, that spring-loaded arm. So we got all that stuff out, and that will go back like this. We'll keep all that together because we know all this goes on the right side of the motor, where the clutch is, the primary drive gear is, water pump, all that stuff on this side. So we'll go ahead and flip it over, and now we're going to work on the stator side. Because there's nothing left really. I mean, I made this actuator rod for the clutch may or may not come out, I don't know, but it's stuck anyways. All right, so if it falls out, great. If not, whatever. So we know we may have to cut into these two bolts here, make them straight, and hit it with a impact driver. So let's go ahead and try to get this guy back off real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these, put a slot, and then I'll hit it with my impact driver, see what happens. All right, so I cut some slots in it. Point you guys down a little bit more, get you more to the center of the screen here. It's kind of hard to do from the angle I'm at. All right, big impact driver, big bit. Yeah, now she's turning. But you can see somebody had grooved out this magneto in this thing, the stator in this thing, to, I guess, maybe try to adjust the timing. It is just completely galled out. It looks like it's lined up here though on the marks it has, so that's a miracle. Oh, that is bent. But whatever, doesn't matter. We're just taking her apart to take her apart. Let's see what we got here. All right, so now we can get the stator out of it. There we go. Set that off to the side over here. Got the flywheel out of this thing. Let's see what else. So, all right, well now I guess we can just go ahead. I'm gonna put a few tools away. We'll pull off the reed cage, and then we'll go ahead and start disassembling the top end. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this reed cage out real quick. Some 8mm heads, 6x10 bolts, there's 4 of them. The intake boot looks good. If we can get this cage out, may have to tap it a little bit. Break it loose. Gasket is actually good on it. The reeds in itself, believe it or not, they're actually closed. That's pretty impressive. There's zero light shining through those. That's pretty impressive. But boy, oh boy, I could see that piston she's locked down in there. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble the top end now. So these are, I believe, 12s on the top. Wow, I can't believe all of them but one had the washer on it. Something was done right there. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and tap. See if we can't get this head to loosen up here and slide off. Boy, she's on there good too. Probably should have grabbed my dead blow. Try to get these washers off. That'll probably help. There we go. That one's still not loose. That one's rusted on there pretty good. Let me grab a small pry bar, which I don't like to do, but at this rate, it looks like we're gonna need it. See if we can't work our way around the head a little bit, trying to get that washer to come up. I don't like to do this because these are machine surfaces, but that washer's rusted on there, and now she's coming off. There we go. Again, guys, if you got any questions about the tools I'm using, drop a comment. I'll leave you a part number down there. A lot of it's Snap-on stuff. There's a couple small Milwaukee things. Most of it's going to be a Snap-on product. I do have some Harbor Freight stuff that I use for grinding down, things like that. All right, well, you can look at the head. You can see the piston. It's a little beat up on the top, but the head is a little beat up from stuff falling down in there, and there was a piece of metal on here somewhere. So the head's not horrible, but what happens, you get pitting like this, it starts to cause what's called detonation, hot spots, and it pre-ignites the fuel, which can cause damage to the piston in the bottom end and ultimately catastrophic failure. The O-ring completely gone in the center. The outer one's all there. So let's go ahead and take off the cylinder now, if we can get that guy off, because we have everything else unhooked, and we can worry about taking the power valve out later. Right now it's locked solid anyways. So let's grab, it looks like to be a 14 millimeter wrench on some of these. Yep, and we can grab our 14 millimeter socket, throw it on there, and go ahead and buzz these off if we can. Well, not gonna be able to do it like that. Anyways. Some of these are really stripped out too. That's a scary. So with all that, I could definitely tell you, like I said before, that somebody's been in here. It's a 95. Bought second hand, third hand, 12th hand, I don't know. So I'll go ahead and get the cylinder all loosened up, take these bolts off, and we'll come back to pulling this cylinder actually off. All right, so we got all the bolts off of this thing. Let's go ahead and tap the cylinder. Once again, yes, I should be using my dead blow, but I honestly don't. Let me grab it just because. I don't want to get 9 kinds of shit from you guys for not using it. There we go, we got it broke loose. Again, I don't like doing this on machine surfaces at all, but this guy here has been apart probably a long time. How long? I don't know, but a while. Little love tap on this side, just to break that gasket loose. There we go. Little lift there. There we go. All right, let's pull the cylinder off. Let's see what's going on. Whoa, there we go. There's part of the problem. Here's a piece of the piston, looking good. Cylinder, she's a little beat up. You might actually be able to ball hone most of that out, but the damage that I could tell, I don't know if you guys can see, there's damage right here on the exhaust port, which you guys can't see that, but that would have to be cleaned up so it doesn't catch a piston and cause an issue. There's a lot of rust inside of here. Found more back here on, if I can get it to rotate around. I may not be able to. There's a lot of piston debris. You can see the whole entire front side of that piston's gone. Trying to, there we go. Let me try to get something. Let me grab some needle nose. See See if I can't get those pieces out. There's another piece. You guys see that? I know the angle's probably not the greatest, the light's probably not the greatest, my head's probably in the way of the light. So now we got to try to get this guy to come out. That's going to look like a pry bar. Because if we don't get that out, which, you know, I'm pretty sure the rod's going to be shot anyways, but I still want to see what's going on. There we go, got that piece out. Another nice big piece. I kind of moved out of your way there. Let's see, oh, there went a few more pieces down below. Hey, no up and down play, a little bit of side to side. Could definitely see a lot of debris down there though. All right, well, we got that part done. Trying to get this clutch lever to loosen up to be able to pull. There we go, got it to move now. Things are actually starting to loosen up a little bit. There we go. That's destroyed. You guys see all that going on there? That thing is completely destroyed. Throw that there. See if I can't, I might be able to get this rod to come out. Completely rusted down the inside. Grab a magnet for that push rod. Or truss rod, or whatever you guys want to call it. Working on it. It may not want to come out. There we go. It's definitely rusted. Ooh. I think it's probably full of so much debris I won't be able to get it out. All right, let's pop the piston off, get it out of the way. No point in having it on there in the way. Snap ring gone. Is it an 8 or a 10? I think a 10 fits that to knock it out, if I'm not mistaken. If I can. I may not be able to get that thing to move. Doesn't really matter what happens, because crank's junk anyways. Yeah, it's moving now. There we go. Made in Japan, the rod says. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and go with the heavy big dog here. Are we through? Almost, almost. Just a little bit more. Ow. There we go. I would replace the bearing if I was actually rebuilding this motor. Piston, again, destroyed. All right, guys, so got a 40mm Torx. I got a snap-on 3-inch extension. Line it up here. I'm just gonna go ahead and beat it into these bolts, and then I'll hit it with my impact driver. If I can get this thing to stay here. I'm not being nice about it. I'm making sure it seats really, really well. Still hasn't come out yet. Gonna keep trying here. There we go. Finally. So as you guys can see, we're gonna need to replace some of those, but once again, we're not doing jack with this thing right now. Anyways, because Jill wouldn't approve if we jacked with it. Ha ha ha. All right, anyways. Pull all these dumb bolts out, crankcase bolts. Got ones in the middle. You can hear my kids out there hooting and hollering around. Crankcase bolts there. Check everything out over here. There should not be anything else that I need to remove to separate these cases. So we'll go ahead and roll it over. We'll give the cases a couple nice taps just to see. I didn't think it was good. So we'll grab our case splitter and our nice washers and spacers and all that good stuff came out, which is fine. Put this on its side here. We'll grab our crankcase separators and stick those on there. All right, so we got that crankcase puller here. We're gonna go ahead and thread in these long bolts here. This crankcase splitter I picked up off of Amazon, and it also comes with a crank puller. I got it for my 1984 CR250. What do we call that? I don't know, Project CR250. It's here on my site. It's on the back burner right now. We got it disassembled. We have it. Need to get the frame taken in, stripped down, and powder coated. And I need to send the cylinder off to be bored out. And then I have to fix the magnesium water pump spot. I've seen a lot of guys do that. We got some putty. We have JB weld, which is some type of a weld that's kind of water resistant. It's chipping. I don't remember what else. All types of stuff resistant. And so that's a project down the road. One of these days when we start getting some more time on our hands. Right now I'm battling trying to get this thing to thread into some of these holes. It's not wanting to thread that easily. So I may have to run a tap through those, retap those real quick, thread chaser, and make sure these things thread in. It's made by MOTO. Here you go. MOTO was a company. So that's who makes it on Amazon. If it's any good, I mean, you guys just saw what it did there with all that pressure, so that was kind of nice. All right, so anyways, crankcase is broken in half. Let's see if we can't get it to come up now. Grab our little pry bars. I think the transmission's probably gonna be stuck here. So let's go. Still nice, and everything's nice and rusted. Crank's coming out. There we go. Transmission. Boom. Well, you guys can see the bearings, transmission bearings are shot. That bushing shot, or that bearing shot. crank bearing shot. This left side case, otherwise, in pretty good condition. All right, so the right side here, which there's one of the roller pins that fell out. So anyways, right side here, we're gonna go ahead and pull out the shift shaft, not shift shaft, but the, or not. Boy, everything is rusted so bad. Oh, wow. All right, well, I may not be able to get the shift pause or the, man, my brain is, I can't think of the damn name of those things right now. But anyways, I can't get those out because that one's locked in place. Not the proper way to do it. Oh yeah, she's locked in there good. I can't even get it turned with a pair of vice grips. All right, so shift forks. Hey, that's the name I was looking for. Shift forks. Shift forks out. Try to get this one out here too. There we go. So shift forks actually don't look horrible. Don't look horrible. Not a lot of wear on those. I don't know if I'll be able to get this part of the transmission out without getting this other part of the tranny out. Shift drum, rusted. There we go. There it come loose. The other shift fork, and it don't look bad. The output shaft for the transmission, still trying to get this rod out of it. It's all rusted up. Transmission shaft's rusted up. Believe it or not, the dogs on the transmission don't look bad. They actually look really, really good. All right, pull this part of the transmission out. Let's take a look here. You can definitely tell it's not too bad on the wear there. It's hard to see, I'm sure. Transmission there. We'll slap that guy back together. Put it together over here on our deal. So let's see if we can't shift drum. Can we get the crank out? Not sure. Let's give it a few whacks. There we go. Crank is out. Like I said, you guys can see the crankcase is cracked right here. A person could weld that for sure. But all the bearings definitely have to be replaced. All the seals, all that has to be heated up. They probably need to, the oil orifice has got to be blown out because all that, but definitely have to probably vapor blast these. Crank. Would I run this crank after all that debris in there? Absolutely not. But believe it or not, it has no up and down. Just a little bit of left and right. That's crazy. It's pretty impressive. I know a lot of people will clean that and probably send it, but not I, said the fly. So guys, there we go. And there we go. There's a tear down. I know it's horrible long. I'll probably edit a bunch of this stuff out. But there's the tear down on the motor of that 95 YZ250. Is it salvageable if a person wanted to pour a bunch of money into it? I'm sure they can make it work. Am I the person to do that? Or is my customer a person to do that? I'm going to tell you absolutely not. Right here is a piece of aluminum stuck in there. Let's see if we can pop that out real quick. It's probably going to take a punch to pop that out because that is jammed in there bad. So that's probably been rubbing on the rod bearings too. But again, guys, that's going to end this part, probably the whole entire series on this 95 YZ250. Let me turn my light off here. So that's probably the end of that. Get that out of the way, turn my light off. So that's probably the end of that motor, end of this video. Nothing important, but that was the motor teardown of a 1995 YZ250. Again, guys, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, turn on post notifications, I appreciate that. Easiest way to support the channel. Again, if you got any questions, hit me up at Limitless Powersports 78 at Gmail, or you can find me on Facebook at Limitless Powersports Service and Repair. I appreciate you guys' support, and we'll catch you on the next upload.